to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Avon's Clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session all about trust, and in particular, trusting your partner. And I was working with a client who had a partner that had started going to Latin dance classes, and because of a previous betrayal, felt that there was an element, even if it was a low probability, there was still a risk that perhaps their partner might form some kind of attraction or connection while at these dance classes. And because of that, they were feeling a bit anxious. Now, the anxiety actually had a good intention. It came from wanting to protect something valuable and desirable. That's a good intention. But actually, the insecurity was coming from projecting a past experience onto a current partner, which isn't really fair on the current partner, but also you can see the good intention. It's trying to stop history from repeating, but that's already taken place through the discernment of the new partner. So what this does is it has various metaphors that link to trust and acceptance. And one of the metaphors is about driving. If you're driving on your side of the road, it's always possible that the other driver on the other side of the road coming in the opposite direction is a reckless, irresponsible driver. They could have a head-on collision with you, but that doesn't stop you driving because you trust that you're going to follow the rules and that other motorists are going to follow the rules too, that you're going to stay in your lane and they're going to stay in their lane. And that's actually a very empowering thing to trust until you have reason not to trust. It links to this idea of trustworthiness. Is the person worthy of trust? And it's much better to trust someone and then no longer trust them when they give you irrefutable evidence that they can't be trusted, than act under the air of suspicion, and even worse if you're holding someone responsible for the crimes that someone else has done. So if you like the idea of activating more trust, perhaps in your partner, or a trusting nature in yourself, you might find this session really useful. It was created for an individual. Some of the references would have been right for them and not right for you. So ignore any suggestions that aren't quite right. And if you like the idea of either going through my archive and finding everything that I've ever done in an organized way, I've recently launched a new site, and that's called thehypnotistpodcast.com. Every session I've ever recorded is on there, and you can find it all categorized. And if you like the idea of working with me directly, have a look in the show notes because you can book a discounted consultation call to explore what it would be like to work with me directly rather than hearing the recordings that I've done for other people. All that said, you might get some real value from this session. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of pure relaxation. And as you exhale, give permission to release any tension, any stress, any worries, any thoughts. Allow them to leave your body in that outward breath. And when you breathe in for deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, just allow it to feel not forced but released, and allow the outward breath to continue longer than it normally would. As you breathe in pure, resourceful relaxation, and exhale whatever needs to be released. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. A wonderful cycle of ever-increasing relaxation. And as you drift deeper within, I want you to make some evaluations about things that you trust about yourself, that perhaps you've forgotten that you trust about yourself. You trust that your heart rate will speed up if you need more oxygen and slow down if you don't. You trust that when you run, the right foot will go in the right order. You don't think and worry about falling. You trust that your body knows how to move forward. And when you drive, you trust in your ability to drive, but also you trust that all the other drivers will also follow the same rules. It's not that you obligate them to. You trust that they will do what you will do. And as you breathe in and breathe out, I want your brain to search for all the other things that you trust without thinking. As your brain drifts deeper and deeper within. That's it. You don't need to picture anything, and you don't need a mind's eye. As you breathe in and breathe out, just notice what you notice. The sound of my voice, the rhythm of your breathing, your jaw loosening, your shoulders relaxing. And sometimes the body can learn something before the conscious mind finds the perfect words for it. And maybe there's been a part of you that learned a long time ago to be careful, to pay attention, to don't get caught out again. And that part had a reason. Something happened once. Someone you trusted made a different choice. And the brain is designed to learn from pain. But learning from the past doesn't mean predicting that the past will repeat itself. It means becoming wiser about what is actually different now. You're a different person. They're a different person. The dynamics are different. And perhaps the more accurate lesson from the past is not that you can't trust. Maybe the real lesson is that you can trust until reality gives you a genuine reason not to. That's a very different position. A stronger position. And I want you to imagine, not as a picture, just as an idea, that you're driving along a winding mountain road. And you can know that road is there without needing to picture it in your mind. Perhaps you can connect with the feeling of driving. Hands on the wheel, the subtle movement through bends, the sense of adjusting speed and paying attention. And on this mountain road, every so often, another car approaches from the opposite direction. Intellectually, you know that there's always a small possibility that the other driver could cross that center line. They could make a mistake. They could lose concentration. That possibility exists. And yet, when you're driving, you don't grip the steering wheel in terror every time another car approaches. You don't stop the car and refuse to continue because something might happen. You choose to stay in your lane, and you trust they will stay in their lane. You drive well, and you trust that the other driver has every reason to drive well too. Because staying in their lane is best for them in the same way that staying in your lane is best for you. Their safety, their journey, their destination. And perhaps trust is something like that. Not pretending that there's zero possibility of someone else making a poor decision, but recognizing that possibility is not the same as probability, and refusing to turn a small possibility into what feels like an emotional emergency. You control your lane, your standards, your behavior, and your choices. And what if you choose to allow another adult to control theirs? That's not weakness. That's confidence. And perhaps some part of you can begin separating sensuality from sexuality. That movement can simply be movement, and music can simply be music. That dancing can just be dancing, and closeness can exist without a line being crossed or a betrayal existing. The meaning is not attached to the activity. Your meaning comes from the evaluation attached to it. And evaluations can change. One person can see a cute dog and see danger, and another can see the same dog and want to approach and stroke and tickle the same dog. The dog is the same, the evaluations are different. Evaluations change emotion, not the actual situation. And maybe if that old sensation appears in the stomach, instead of judging it, you can recognize it. Perhaps as an old alarm. Your emotions are not evidence or prophecies. They're just an old nervous system reacting to something from another chapter. And I want you to thank that part for its wonderful intention of trying to protect something valuable. And then remind it, this is not then, this is now. You know your relationship and their character, and you're choosing trust. You're not hoping, you're choosing to trust. Because trust means something, precisely because another person has freedom of choice. Without that freedom, there is nothing to trust. And perhaps there's something powerful, honorable, confident and grounded about knowing that you don't need to control someone to feel secure. And you don't need constant reassurance to know your value. And you don't need to monitor every moment to protect the thing you value. You can have standards and you can have boundaries, and you can still choose freedom. And maybe it begins to feel good to think of someone you care about deeply, enjoying something that brings more energy and vitality into their life, more joy, more enthusiasm, more connection with life itself. And that energy does not exist only in that person. That energy comes back into your home, into your relationship, into the time that subtly influences smiles, laughter, connection, trust, creates safety. And maybe you can begin to experience that differently. Rather than thinking that someone's choosing this instead of me, you could think that they're choosing something that brings value in their life, and that this is something that you're choosing that helps the person that you love feel more alive. And what if there's even pride, confidence, security that you can connect with in giving someone you love the space to flourish? And I wonder if you can imagine a future where these changes have already happened. Maybe it's a regular night, a particular day of the week. Maybe something's planned or booked or scheduled. But I want you to observe the version of you that chooses to trust. That version of you accepts that anything is possible, but the person that you care for cares for you, and you're choosing to trust them. And I want you to see that that person doesn't need the reassurances of messages, doesn't need to feel relieved when they return. See a version of you full of acceptance and trust, and the self-confidence that comes by knowing that they are valuable, but that you are equally valuable. If they are valuable to you, you are valuable to them. And then imagine how that would feel. That level of inner security, self-assurance, the ability to choose to trust. And therefore relief isn't needed, because trust can feel good now. Trust can feel spacious and confident, and you can genuinely say, have a great time, and mean it. Not with that expression of paranoia, concern, doubt. Trust is something felt, experienced, and you get to live your life at a whole new level. There is something attractive about someone that is that confident, that they can trust. Imagine being on the receiving end of a similar level of trust. Wouldn't you feel free and happy and connected, knowing that that person trusts you? And if that's the case for you, isn't it likely it's the case for them too? because this relationship is not the old relationship. And this person is not that person. And equally, you are not the previous version of you. You've already changed in many ways. Wiser. With more clarity, more discernment, you can trust. And you can accept. And you can feel confident. And you can allow someone you love to enjoy their freedom, while remaining completely secure in your own. And if you can connect with that idea of the confidence that comes from trusting and choosing to trust, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And as you hold that thought, it's time to return, floating back to the here and the now. So take a deep breath, in through your nose and out through your nose, and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connecting, calibrating to the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, confident, choosing to trust, not being obligated to. It's your choice. And you're choosing because it's good for you and good for them. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.